Hello, my name is Christian Stein, and today I would like to talk to you about the psychological and physical effects of steroids. Who can guess what 30% of college and professional athletes, 20% of high school athletes, and 80% of bodybuilders use in order to get a competitive advantage? Yes? Steroids. Correct. So, the main reason I want to talk to you is because why do individuals start using steroids in the first place? And the first point on why individuals start using steroids in the first place is because, first of all, they want to get a competitive advantage over the other opponents that they have to face. Whether it be athletes, bodybuilders, college athletes, student athletes, teenagers, it doesn't matter. Overall, they just want to get a competitive advantage over others. What most people don't know is that Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually one of the main and primary users of steroids in his time whenever he was going for Mr. Olympia and other titles that he got. And as most of us know, Lance Armstrong was stripped of 7 Tour de France titles because of his use of performance-enhancing drugs. The second reason as to why people start using steroids is because individuals are not satisfied with their bodies. Whether it be when they step on the scale and they feel like they're overweight, or whether they look at themselves in the mirror and just think, I'm overweight and not satisfied with their overall body composition. The third reason as to why people start using steroids is ultimately to reach society's expectations. Whether it be people in magazines, when you go to the grocery store, what do you see? Magazines full of people with abs, slender bodies. When you go to a store, you see mannequins who have bikinis on, who are slender. And even in athletes, you have coaches, parents, and other individuals all around you who just want you to meet expectations that you just don't think you can reach. So they reach out to steroids to get that extra competitive advantage. Aside from the main reason that people begin to use steroids, negative psychological effects are bound to come with the use of steroids. The first negative psychological effect that has to do with steroids is it primarily in bodybuilders. When individuals who are preparing for a competition go into their cutting cycle, athletes must create an extreme caloric deficit in order to maintain a large amount of muscle and lose fat at the same time. However, when people are using this as steroids, their brain capacity goes into someone who would be the same as someone who's bulimic, who just overall doesn't see their body for really how it really is. So by doing this extreme caloric deficit, it forces people into the mindset that they're bulimic. Another psychological effect of steroids is body dysmorphic disorder and anorexia nervosa, which is pretty much the same thing as being bulimic. However, anorexia is just not eating enough and not feeling good about yourself, body shaming. You look in the mirror, you're not satisfied overall with how you look. Even if you're working out every day, you're just not satisfied with how you overall look. Another psychological effect of steroids is that they're becoming more primarily used by teenage boys who are captivated into the market of steroids because they're trying to gain a competitive advantage over others around them. Imagine being in middle school and being the strongest on the football team, or being in middle school and being the fastest on the track team. This is why teenage boys are being captivated into the steroid market. Yet aside from eating disorders, another psychological effect that steroids have on the brain is roid rage. And this is typically the most overall term that people recognize when they see steroids. They're like roid rage, roid rage. This is because it oftentimes comes into murder cases and suicide cases that involve steroid users. Aside from psychological effects of steroids, I would like to go into the negative physical effects of steroids. And the first point I'd like to point out is that whenever you take steroids, you're gaining a large amount of mass, which is from muscle. And your body cannot compensate for this large amount of mass just because of the way it is made. So you'll have diseases such as cardiovascular disease or musculoskeletal disease because of the use of steroids. And this oftentimes leads to the failure of the body. The next physical effect of steroids is it is too much muscle and not enough time. So just like in the last point, the body is gaining too much muscle in such a short period of time that overall your body's not going to be able to compensate with how much muscle you're gaining, how much mass you're gaining, and how much stronger you're gaining. And overall it's gonna lead to body failure. The third negative effect of steroids I'd like to go over with you is when it comes to more visible effects that you can see. So doping actually is a mean, this picture is very clear and perhaps one of the worst pictures I've ever seen of doping acne from steroids. And this is a moderate doping acne picture, as you can see here. As for study growth of steroids, this is also oftentimes what happens to many people who start steroids at a too young of an age that their body's not developed enough to handle the steroids. Therefore, their bodies tend to stay the same size as whenever they started steroids. So, overall, why do individuals start using steroids? Yes.
They want to look better.
Correct. People would tend to use steroids because they want to look better, they want to meet society's expectations, and they want to have a competitive advantage over the other competitors. What is one disease related to steroids? Yes.
Anorexia.
That is correct. People, bodybuilders specifically, whenever they use steroids, they oftentimes have the same mental compatibility as someone who has anorexia because of the cutting cycle that they must go through whenever they prepare for competition. What is one psychological deterioration of the mind when it comes to steroids? Yes.
Don't they think to like they're too fat or something?
Yes. Oftentimes, people, whenever they take steroids, they just never meet expectations that they want. So in their mind, they may feel like they're too fat or they're too skinny when oftentimes they look great. They look like models. And lastly, what is one physical deterioration of the body that you can remember? Yes.
I can remember, I believe a physical deterioration of the body would be doping acne.
That is very true. That was a picture from the previous slide. As you can see right here, where they have light, very extreme, and moderate doping acne, which just comes from over 50% of users that use steroids, which is a high percentage if you're using them. Overall, as athletes, as we're all athletes in here, is it really worth the risk to use steroids?
No.
No. Sometimes I would say yes, only because of the fact that you want to gain that competitive advantage that you were explaining in your PowerPoint.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's really not worth the whole doping acne, the stunted growth of the body with us. It's not worth going through that risk.
Exactly. As there may seem to be many advantages of taking steroids, but in the long run, overall, it's just not worth the risk. The body is going to fail too early, and it's just not a great
Thing to do.
not a great thing to do. As I just want to thank you for listening to my presentation, and have a nice day.